The book of Luke, chapter 14, 1, 7 to 14. One Sabbath, when Jesus went to eat in the house of a prominent Pharisee, he was being carefully watched. When he noticed how the guests picked the places of honor at the table, he told them this parable. When someone invites you to a wedding feast, do not take the place of honor. If so, the host who invited you will come and say to you, "Give this man your seat." Then, humiliated, you will have to take the least important place. But when you are invited, take the lowest place, so that when your host comes, he will say to you, "Friend, move up to a better place." Then you will be honored in the presence of all your fellow guests. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. Then Jesus said to his host, "When you give a luncheon or a dinner, do not invite your friends, your brothers or relatives, or your rich neighbors. If you do, they may invite you back, and so you will be repaid. But then, when you give a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind, and you will be blessed. Although they cannot repay you, you will be repaid at the resurrection of the righteous." The word of the Lord in the house of the Lord. You know, so many things have been happening, and this week I've had plenty of time to pay attention. But a lot that's going on in the world is going on in our lives, and has been going on forever. You know, the Pharisees were always trying to put Jesus into a box. They were always trying to find some way to cause him to break one of their laws, so that they could discredit him and take him apart and hurt him. But he always had an angle. He always would figure it out. And they were complaining about working on the Sabbath. We talked about that last week. But yet, each one of them worked on the Sabbath, with their oxen or their dogs or they're feeding the animals or whatever. And he told them that's a fallacy. But they also said that you should not honor yourself. And this is an important part of this lesson. Don't be so high and mighty in your own mind, that you take the place of honor. Be humble. Accept the fact that you may not be the greatest person on earth. You may be in your own mind, and that's fine. You should think that of yourself. But you can't show that to everybody else, that I'm better than you. That's not how it works. The idea is you go in and you take the lesser seat. And then your host says, "Oh no, my friend, please sit up here at the main table with the rest of us. You belong up here." And then all the other guests say, "Oh, this is an important person. We should accept him. The host thinks he's worthwhile." And they too will accept you and think of you as worthwhile. But sometimes we forget with what we have to do, and we challenge ourselves, and we do things that we know is kind of hard to do, but we could get so easily political with all this stuff. And if, just as a note, I said to myself, not political. Don't get involved in this. You're just looking for trouble. And I'm going, no, I don't need any trouble. I did that once, and that was a mistake. And I'm sorry. You know, many times we see someone that we recognize them totally, not because we can glance at them and say, "Oh, that's Bobby," or "Oh, that's Joe," because they're in the place where they're supposed to be, and they're wearing the clothes that they're supposed to wear, and they're just there. They're just there. Okay, you know they're there. But sometimes you want to really express yourself and do something really good. And you think about our church, okay? You think about, this is a very comfortable church. We like this church. It's easy to go. We need to step up a little bit. I knew a pastor once who felt that way. And he went out and he says, I've got to do something to stir up our congregation and get it really, really strong. So he's going to do it. He said, if I set the example myself, they'll all follow. So he went out and he bought a new suit. And I mean, he bought a great suit, very expensive. Had it tailored to the nines so it fit just perfect. New accessories, new tie, new shirt, new watch, chain, shoes, the whole routine, and a wonderful, fantastic hat. Just perfect. And when he walked up that center aisle and he came, he was a show. He was spectacular. And he even had a different walk. He walked upright and straight. And he carried himself with all elegance and wonderful. And he gave a sermon that was just fabulous. There wasn't a sleepy eye in the place. Everybody was up and at him, and it was just great. His voice was different. He talked different. He had authority in his words, and he set them out, and he set it straight. And some of the people in the back going, who is this guy? He had him a little confused. He wasn't sure that was the right one. But many commented on the fact that he had a really good sermon and everything was great. But they're still not sure who this person is. It's not their regular pastor. But when the offering plate was passed and they counted it that night, he was excited to think that this is going to be a great offering today. And it was short by about 50%. He goes, what happened? This has to be a fluke. I mean, I did everything perfect today, and this offering should be really much better. Well, next week, I'll be even better prepared. I'm going to really do it right. So next week, same thing. Here he comes in his beautiful suit, and he's primed up the aisle, and he gave a rousing sermon like you never could have believed. It was really strong, and he put it out there. But when they counted the offering, it was even lower than the week before. And these people are going, who is this guy? And he's going, what did I do? Well, the next week he came to church, and his suit was in the cleaners. So he said, well, I can wear my sport coat, and I don't need to wear a tie. Maybe I can just be relaxed and be comfortable. And he came walking up the aisle, and everything was good. And it was a very warm day, so he took it easy. And the sermon was light and easy to accept. And gosh, everybody was into it. There was a few people who had their eyes closed, but he thought, well, they're getting into the sermon really good, so that's great. Well, he said, but next week, when I get my suit back, I'm going to wow him again. I'm going to really give it to him. He's going to get serious. He's going to upgrade the songs. He's going to sing stronger. We're going to have everything better, just like it was the last 2 weeks. We're stepping everything up. So when the service was over, a couple of the old timers came up to him and says, boy, we hope you had a wonderful vacation and we're glad you're back. And the bishop did a heck of a job while you were gone. What did I do? But his problem was He's taken everybody out of their comfort zone. You're out of your comfort zone. Everything is a little more tense. Everything is a little more not normal. But when he came back and everything came down again, came down to the, we're back to normal. He says, what have I done? I've taken everybody out of their comfort zones, and just because I thought it was good for me, it wasn't good for everybody. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's what I'm trying to get to. If your life is good, if things are going well and everything is wrong, why do we stress and put ourselves under the gun and try to make it, we're going to make this all better? We got to learn to live with our lives the way they are and in the comfort zone that we've set ourselves up for. And you know what? It takes a lot of pressure off of you. But Jesus did that. You know, Jesus wore a white robe. He didn't wear purple. Miss Judy's in purple today, but I call her my princess anyway. So royalty wears purple. Jesus, he just wore white. And he didn't come in town on a white charger. He came in on a donkey. He was accepting life the way it was and the way he wanted it. He was one of the people, and that's what he wanted it to be. So we have our pastor back with us today. He's our old friend. He's our connection to the man upstairs. It's kind of like wearing an old, comfortable suit. Everything is easy, and it fits good. And, you know, this church is very much like that. This church. You, the people, care about this church, and you participate in this church. You know this is your church. You made it, you love it, you live it. And all of you together make this yours. From the food bank to the ladies' club, from the coffee hour to the ushers, from the organist to the bell ringer, from the bells. Well, I call them my ding-a-lings, but they do such a great job and they're fun to watch. And the choir, you put the effort into it. You make this church work. You enjoy it. You get all the benefits from it, and you get all the love out of it. And what do I get? I get excited. And I love it. And I love coming back here. I'm not sure when or if I'll be back here again. Traveling is a little more difficult now than it used to be. But I really enjoyed being here with you, and thank you all for the warm welcome. Amen.